Anna Lucy grew in a comfortable home. Her father worked as a site engineer with the Ministry of Works. Being the second child and only daughter, her father pampered her so much. Her older brother could not scold her whenever their father was around. She went to the best school in Star City at the time, even though she had few friends because not everybody could afford sending their children to dignified international school at the time. She's a friendly child and easily makes friends whenever an opportunity pops up. On completing her basic school, her aunt who lived in the capital city took Anne with her after a visit. Since there were no higher institutions in Star City, she had no option but to go away from her parents to study further. She comes visiting only during long holidays. Sometime around her mid-school days, on one of her return journey to school, she met a boy who was also a student in her school. They chatted and got acquainted and became friends afterwards. As the years goes by, they both graduated and both got good employment opportunities. Anna was so determined to be a CEO of an NGO which will alleviate the suffering of women and young girls in her community. That have been her dream since she was a small girl. She was trying so hard working in the capital city and saving money towards her NGO. The project kicked off on a very high speed. On the first year anniversary of her NGO, she was welcomed to the venue of the celebration with a proposal from her long boyfriend. She accepted his proposal to marry him, but wondering if all her aspirations and dreams wouldn't be cut short as a married woman. She struggled with herself for a while, picturing herself as a mother to some of the girls she assisted helped her to overcome her anxieties. They got married and moved to another state to start up a family as her husband had to relocate to take over his late father's businesses. Anna had a tough time adjusting as she was not able to do as she used to being in a new environment. Her husband provided everything she ever needed, but that longing of being an independent woman never died. Being made to promise never to make Anne regret their union, Benson tried his best at all costs to make Anne happy and comfortable. The union was blessed with two beautiful girls and one child on the way. They were both happy and praying it would be a boy so that they would put a stop to childbearing. They tried as hard as they could, even though it was difficult, not to do a scan to know the sex of the unborn child. Mr. Clifford, Anne's father, was so engrossed in preparation for the coming boy, as well as the whole family. A lot of shopping was made, awaiting her due date. Soon it was time. Benson traveled outside the country for a course, and baby Sophie came in his absence. Anne and the rest of the family welcomed the baby with so much joy. She's loved equally as her older sisters. After all, no child is a mistake, whether a boy or a girl, said Mr. Clifford and his wife. There was a very big celebration on the homecoming of the baby from the hospital. Mr. Benson returned when the baby was 4 months old. It was a mixed feeling for him, as he was happy his wife is fine since the pregnancy and delivery was not as easy as the previous ones, he was told. He tried as much as he would to hide his disappointment that Sophie is not a boy. Before the coming of Sophie, Mr. Benson promised to allow Anne pursue her ambition and dreams. With much excitement, Anne reminded him of his promise, but he was objective. "You'll have to wait a bit longer, my dear. We need one more try. Who knows? We might be lucky to have a boy this time, he says. She felt heartbroken by his statement. There, aren't you happy we're having another bundle of sweetness in Sophie? I am, but our family is not complete until we have a boy. The subject matter kept ringing in her head for some time, even though it was as if the matter was laid to rest, since Benson came to bond with Sophie more than the other siblings. Some time passed. There is no hope of another baby coming. Anna buried herself in work as soon as she was granted permission to work by her husband. She managed a grocery shop, still nurturing her humanitarian job at heart. All seemed to be going on well. Her kids are all in school and she is doing pretty well for herself and her family. After her busy days, she usually sleeps off and wakes early to prepare for the family. She is so engrossed with work and family. Even though she noticed her husband keeps late nights and fond of giving excuses as to why he spent some nights out, it never dawned on her that there could be a problem, until a friend dropped the idea to her. Anne, are you sure your husband is faithful? Just ask him. I'm not saying anything, but just ask him. Since our 9 years of marriage, I never have any reason to question Benson's faithfulness. He never gave me any reason to. Reluctantly, she popped up the question that evening after dinner. Honey, you know I love you and will always do, right? I'm not in doubt you do same. Have it ever crossed your mind to admire any other woman? His countenance changed. He was uneasy. She was surprised, not expecting such a response. I'm sorry, Anna. I can't lie to you any longer. I'm seeing another woman. We're expecting a child soon. I'm sorry. I love you and the girl so much, and you know that. But life happens. I'm moving out. We've made every arrangement. I was waiting for the right time to let you know. Anne was shocked to her bones. She couldn't lift a finger from the computer she was operating. Her jaw dropped. She slumped into the chair gradually. He excused her and left the room. He left that night to heaven knows where. She was shattered. She couldn't say a word of what happened to anybody. Burying herself in work, trying so hard to not allow her children to know what was going on. She took on the place of both a father and mother to them. To her shock and horror, her eldest daughter Sarah sided with Benson when she got to know. Sarah accused Anne of driving Benson away and causing the breakdown of their family. Feeling completely abandoned and betrayed by her own flesh and blood, Anne was left to pick up the pieces of her shattered life on her own. She had always believed that a mother's love was unconditional, but now she questioned everything she thought she knew. As Anne struggled to rebuild her life, she realized that sometimes the greatest betrayal can come from those closest to you. But through it all, she found strength in herself and vowed to never let anyone else define her worth. She may have been betrayed by her husband and daughter, but she refused to let their actions break her spirit. She would rise above it all and show them that she was stronger than they ever imagined. Moral of the story: love yourself, love others, but believe in yourself alone. When the going gets tough, all else can leave you, but you have you and yourself to walk through the rest of the journey. Thank you.